You guys thought things 2 years ago were bad. Well, if you've been paying attention, I think it's clear that they're not slowing down anytime soon. So the question is, what can we do? Well, I'll tell you what some people try to do. Some people try to tell other people how to behave. Some people look towards government and experts in different fields to come and protect them and to guide them. And the problem with that is that not only does it go against the laws of nature, but it perpetually puts us in a disempowered place because that's not how the universe works. Sooner or later, we have to come to grips with the fact that life itself is uncertain. For as long as we're in this body and in this three-dimensional reality, the idea of safety is really more of a feeling or a concept than a reality. If we've been around long enough, we know that sooner or later we're going to get smacked with shit that doesn't feel good, shit that hurts. We're going to be heartbroken. We're going to lose people we love. We're going to deal with illnesses, losses. So rather than trying to create this artificial sense of safety by trying to control the environment, which is impossible, we'll never succeed at doing that. What I think makes the most sense is to get a little bit of a better grasp on how to control our internal environment, our internal landscape. So I want to talk a little bit about self-regulation and why that's important and why right now, more than ever, we need to get really good with it. What's going on in the world is truly transformative. We are living through the evolution of collective consciousness, and it is redefining life on Earth. It is redefining our relationship with government. It is redefining our relationship with one another and our relationship with our own bodies and with the Earth. So they're big changes, and I think they are affecting all of us in different ways, but they're affecting all of us. So self-regulation is really about being able to modulate or have a little bit more conscious control over our nervous system and over the way that we express emotions. It's about having the ability to downshift when we are going through really stressful things, about having the ability to upregulate when we are depressed and overwhelmed and we don't have the energy to get out of bed in the morning. It's about being able to process emotion in a healthy way instead of trying to clamp down on it, because emotional energy cannot be repressed. It is way bigger than us. They are universal energies that are meant to flow through us, to inform us, to stir us into action. But it needs to be an open circuit, right? So these energies need to flow through us and back into the environment. But most of us try to clamp down on it. And that never works out, because what ends up happening is we get overtaken by those emotions, or they start to build up inside until there comes a point where we just explode and we manifest that energy in a very negative and shadowy way. And the other thing that happens is that when we clamp down and create this sense of contraction, it accumulates in the body to the point where we do end up getting sick. So it's imperative, really, in my opinion, to have a daily practice that is structured based on your lifestyle and how much time you have to devote to a practice, but having a daily practice that really works in a conscious way with the nervous system and that trains it to be able to be a shapeshifter, so to speak, to be able to navigate these emotional states. We need to get good at creating practices that inoculate us of stressful states. So with that, I am extremely, extremely excited to announce that after many years of deep, deep work and refinement and working in collaboration with Kirsten Wilkinson, Desiree Saltgill, and Drasko Vucevic, we are releasing an embodiment practice called Unmuscle Your Power Animal, that it's about what we call radical self-regulation. It's a practice that's honestly unlike anything else out there. And what makes it unique is that it combines disciplines that are powerful in and of their own, but it brings them together in an integrated and strategic way, in a very structured way, to be used as a daily practice. It combines elements of meditation, of breath work, of yoga, of bodybuilding, of emotional release techniques or bioenergetic release techniques. And it taps into modern trauma theory, tactical psychology, neuroscience, and it really gives us a very well-rounded way of working with the nervous system and with the environment. It's inspired in a very large way by ancient shamanism, and it's truly inspired by trauma. And what I mean by that is that it's not a practice that we just put together because, it sounded cool or it made sense, but it's a practice that I personally had to dive into when I was going through my dark night of the soul. For those of you guys that don't know me, I've gone through quite a bit in my life, but I most recently went through about 4 years of a very intense, debilitating health illness that was not naturally caused. It was actually caused by a pharmaceutical that almost took my life. And it took me to the edge of really my willingness of being alive. I mean, it really took me very close to that point of taking my own life, because it was torture, and it was very sustained for a very long period of time with no reprieve. That combined with the loss of some very, very dear things to me, including a community and my partner, and going through a lot of heartache. I had to really dive deep and tap into my own power. The medical community couldn't help me. Like I said, not only was my condition caused by doctors, but they weren't able to help me through it. And my loved ones weren't able to help me through it. My family wasn't able to. All the people that I love and that were so desperately trying to help me through it couldn't. Not the best of healers could help me. So it brought me to this dead end. And that's really when the magic started. Because when I realized that there was nobody out there left that could help me. And by the way, this was happening when I had just moved to a new city where I didn't know anybody. I was completely alone. And so, like I said, the circumstances really forced me to tap deep into my own power. And that's when I surrendered. I essentially laid down my ego, laid out my sense of control, and did my best to connect with the earth and allow the earth to express itself through me and to speak to me. And what ended up happening is that I became aware that when we attune ourselves to the frequency of the earth and we allow itself to express through our nervous system, there are certain movements that the body naturally wants to express. And they correlate directly with the elemental forces of nature. So these are the practices that I dove into. Again, I wasn't going through a normal place in my life at the time. I had lost everything. And I was going through a very intense dark night of the soul. So I dove into these practices for a solid 3.5 to 4 hours every day. And I did multiple meditations spread out throughout the day as well. And I prayed hard, and I really made my healing journey the most important thing above all relationships, above my career, everything. And that's really how this system came about. It was truly um, downloaded, so to speak, by the planet itself. And it guided me on how to work with my own body and my own nervous system. And little by little, I started to come out of my illness, and I started to heal my heart, and I started to really come into my power as a man. So I know firsthand that these practices are no joke. They work, they absolutely work. And I've been able to share them with other people, and they've had the same results. They truly are transformational. And this isn't something that I just like did at some point in the past and I've abandoned. This is still the way that I live my life daily. Not fortunately, I'm very blessed to have not needed that level of commitment. So I'm not necessarily doing the 3.5 to 4 hours a day, although sometimes I do go that deep. But um, these practices really do structure and guide my life, and they have been absolutely transformational. And again, going back to what I was saying at the beginning, like life is crazy right now. So we can freak out and we can try to reach out and try to hold on to something, something stable when the current of the river is taking us downstream. Or we can just take a deep breath, relax into the flow, and know that we're guided, and know that we are a part of the earth, and know that we're not alone. And I think that's the ultimate medicine for these times, is knowing that we have one another. And that, in fact, is the most important thing for us to tap into, because a lot of what's happening today is that we are exceedingly divided, and we are being manipulated to put blame on our discomfort and our predicament on other groups of people, people that are different than us, people that have made different choices than us. And that is a very, very dangerous place to go to. So I'm inviting you all to come join me. We are about to release Unmuzzle Your Power Animal as a live course over a period of 4 weeks, where we will cover these practices, and we will be working with you one-on-one to give you a customized program so that you can adapt it to your needs and to your lifestyle. And after the month is over, after the first month is over, we will continue on a monthly basis with updates and with very supportive community. And that's, to me, that's the most important thing, because I want to be clear that when we share these practices, we're not coming from a place of we're the teachers and you guys are the students. What we're aiming to do is to truly form a community that is supportive for all of us, because that's truly where our power is in our remembering that we are brothers and sisters, that we are not only a part of the earth, but that we are earth. And we need one another more than ever.